Hey guys, it's Rich Boy J here, back again with another video, and this is going to be part 6 of the Crait MOC build series. Now, we weren't able to get a ton of work done this week. Unfortunately, my good friend Garrett has been down with a bad case of the suds, so show some love for him in the comment section. That left me alone to do the bulk of the work this week, but I did get some pretty cool things done. I worked on the Crash TIE Fighter section of the MOC, as well as getting a section done on the ATM6. So without further ado, let's jump right into the MOC, guys. Alright, so first I'm going to give you guys a closer look at the ATM6 leg that I've built. This thing is an absolute monster. It's probably closing in on about 2 feet tall. I'd say it's probably around 20 inches tall. So it's actually almost as tall as the AT-AT that I built, which is pretty ridiculous. But I really like the design of it. I think it looks pretty accurate to what it's supposed to be. Absent the tan part that's sitting there, that's going to have to get replaced at some point once an order comes in. Have no fear, guys, that's going to get fixed. But all in all, I'm really happy with the way this thing came out. I'm also really happy with the sturdiness of it. A lot of people suggested that I use some Technic pieces on the inside, like use some Technic lift arms, kind of throughout it to reinforce the structure. I didn't really want to do that because it requires a lot of compromises on the outside of the build when having to make sure that the inside has like Technic beams going through the entirety of it. I used a pretty similar technique on building this that I did with the AT-AT that I built, so it's kind of hard to see from the side, but I can give you guys a pretty good idea of what I did. Essentially, there are a bunch of the 1x1s with the brick pointing, or I'm sorry, with a stud pointing that way, and there's just a bunch of them going all the way down and all the way up the entirety of the leg. And basically what that does is that allows for me to put these plates up on the side, and it just holds everything together. So it's like that on both sides of the leg, and it actually works really well in making it pretty stable. Had no problems with it like falling apart. I'm pretty sure it's going to be able to hold up the weight of the back of the ATM6, so I'm really happy with that. And also, I'll show you guys the back of it. So this is what the inside of the leg is going to look like. This section here is going to be covered with the, I guess, hip, as you'd call it. So you won't be able to see those colors. I just, put in some filler that I had. Didn't want to waste any useful, good color pieces on that section if I didn't have to. And then also, there's some details kind of towards the bottom. Really happy with the way that looks. And also kind of in that section, I'm really happy how I was able to have essentially multiple layers of indentation here. Like you can see that goes in a plate, and then that section only goes in a half plate. So it gives it a lot of depth, looks very accurate. Really happy with the way this thing came out, and I can't believe I'm going to have to build another one of these. If you guys didn't know, this leg is about 1,300 pieces. To give you guys a perspective on what that actually means, this leg has almost as many pieces as the entire Lego set ATM6. The Lego set has, I think, 1,350 or a little bit over that. This leg has right at 1,300 pieces. So this thing is very heavy, it's very large, and it's very sturdy to hold up what's going to be a very big ATM6. So let's go ahead and take this thing into the actual room where the Crait MOC is, and we'll see where it fits in with everything else. Alright, so this is what the MOC looks like as of this weekend. Once again, I just love seeing it kind of from this drawn back angle. Really accentuates the salt lines that we did. So once again, I think that looks really nice. And then also this can give you guys a really good look at the size of the leg. As you can see, it's pretty close in size to the AT-AT back there. So that thing is going to be huge. I'm not, I guess, a cheap plug. Breakvault recently did a review on the AT-AT that I built on their channel, so you guys can see an in-depth look at that in kind of a professional setting. I know the video I did on it wasn't very great quality or lighting, but they did a pretty good job looking at all the details on the AT-AT Walker. So if you guys are more interested in that, make sure you go ahead and check that out on Breakvault's channel. Really happy to do work with them. I think they did a pretty good job at highlighting that. But moving on to bigger walkers, this thing is just absolutely huge. I really can't believe that at some point there's just going to be a giant walker here, really obstructing the view towards the back. Honestly, I know I've commented, a few people have said, oh, you should put the ATM6 in the back. That way it won't get in the way. And I was kind of like, well, it's not going to matter when we get to conventions because the build is going to be visible from 360 degrees. So from each side, people will be able to see it. It's really not going to make a difference which side it's on. But in hindsight, thinking about the fact that the MOC is going to be sitting here for a majority of the time, and I'm going to have to be recording videos, at some point, once we get the ATM6 built up, it's going to get kind of annoying having to come around it every time to see the rest of the MOC. So I don't know, maybe I'll think of a workaround with that. Maybe I'll just leave it off of the legs for most of the time so you guys can actually get a good look at the majority of the MOC. But I digress. I guess one thing I can also show you guys is this is the Lego set ATM6. And to give you guys a better look at just how big my ATM6 is going to be, the leg that I built is already about twice the size of the Lego set, which means the body is going to go up probably about 3 times the height of the Lego set. It's going to be absolutely huge build. So I'm going to move that out of the way real quick. One last thing I'll do with this leg. I'm doing a lot of leg related things in this video. Hope you guys are enjoying it. I'll show you guys the leg closer to the AT-AT walker. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. Just look at the foot. The foot is just giant compared to the AT-AT feet. And that AT-AT is not small at all, guys. So it's kind of hard to convey just how big this thing is going to be. But I'm really excited for it. Really can't wait to get this thing finished up. So now that we've officially moved on from the ATM6, which has kind of taken up most of this video, let's get to the actual stuff that was done for the Crait MOC. So what I did on the build stream I had earlier this week is I built this little crater right here, which I'm really happy with. I didn't want to make it too deep. It shouldn't go down too deep. It's not that heavy of a TIE fighter. But the idea is that the TIE fighter, it gets shot out of the air, one of the wings flies off, and lands right there beside it. We wanted to keep it close to it. If we put it too far off, we felt it may hinder something else that may need to be on the MOC. This is a pretty big MOC, but with all the things we want to include on it, we're working with a rather confined space, so we try to keep all of the little subsections kind of confined to their own area just for space's sake. So the idea is the wing lands right there. The TIE fighter the cockpit would kind of crash in here, and it actually rolls and it lands right here. And this is actually a scene that you see in the movie as well as the trailer. So I think in the official first trailer for the Last Jedi, that scene is in there. So it's going to be pretty cool to kind of recreate that. We're going to have a little bit more destruction going on with the cockpit. I'm going to take off a little bit more. This is just kind of like a general layout as to how everything will be. So there will be like smoke coming from the cockpit. The wing will be partially on fire since it gets shot. And I'm probably going to do some more pieces of the actual TIE fighter laying there. But one thing I did want to show you guys is the way I was able to build that wing into the ground. It's actually not an entire wing. It is just probably like half of the wing. If you watched the build stream, you would have seen me take this thing apart. But I think it makes for a really cool visual. Just the fact that it kind of sits at that angle and the way I built up those wedge plates around it. So obviously most of this is going to be covered with the white plates and tile for the salt, but don't have those parts in right now. Sick Garrett is currently holding them hostage, so once he gets well, he'll bring those over here and we'll get that built up. But until then, I think you guys can get a pretty good general idea of the way this is going to work. Got the pilots sitting outside, probably calling for some help, trying to get assistance. But yeah, I was really happy with the way I was able to put the wing in the ground there. I think it looks pretty realistic. I'm going to end up building up some like red dirt kind of around the edges just to give it a more realistic look. But the thing I really wanted to capture was having it kind of at an irregular angle. So it's just slightly at an angle in the ground, and it's also slightly at an angle kind of going this way. So it looks like a really natural, like, oh, it like fell and got stuck into the ground. So really happy that I was able to pull that off. Also really happy with the crater, and we're going to build up maybe a little bit more cracks in there to make it look more realistic. But all in all, I'm really happy with the way this thing is coming out. So I will give you guys one last pull back look at everything we have done so far with this MOC. And now we'll move to the closing of the video. That's going to finish up the video today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I know we weren't able to get done as much work as we normally do, but like I said, Garrett got sick, and he's the one who ordered the parts, so when he got them in, he wasn't able to bring them here, so I wasn't able to use them, which then required me to basically just use all of what I had here already. So not much of the salt was able to be placed, but I'm pretty happy with what we were able to get done. I got a pretty significant portion of the Crash TIE Fighter. I'm really happy with the way that Broken Wing turned out, and it's really nice to see the ATM-6 finally taking physical form. I ordered some parts to come in hopefully sometime next week, so I'll actually be able to work on that second back leg as well as one of the front legs, which I'm really looking forward to because it has such a unique design and it's so much bigger than the other legs. So it'll be really fun to see that start taking form. So ultimate determining factor is going to be whether or not those parts come in on time. Hopefully they will, and we'll be able to show you guys that progress for the next video, I guess next Sunday. Other thing I wanted to say is, guys, this week our live stream is actually going to be on Wednesday. Garrett got some parts in this week, so we're going to be able to put those to good use on the build stream. I have an order placed, and hopefully I'll be getting those parts sometime soon, so we'll be able to do a pretty significant amount of damage on that ground section. I'm really hoping we'll be able to get done at least a few more, hopefully 2 or 4 more squares done on the ground section. So we're slowly building up towards the trench section of the MOC, which is going to be really fun, especially with those bunkers, as well as the beloved rock section with the big wall. So hopefully that'll come very soon. Hopefully we'll be able to get those things done for you for the next update video. So like I said, guys, next build stream is going to be on Wednesday, probably at 2 or 3 p.m. Central. I'll probably make another announcement between now and then confirming the exact time. So make sure you guys come in for that. You won't want to miss it. It's going to be a good time. We're going to have a lot of parts in. Going to get some really good progress on the MOC. So I think it's going to be pretty must see. That's going to finish up the video today, guys. Like I always say, if you like what I do, go ahead, hit the like button, support the video, hit the subscribe button, support the channel, and I'll be back again very soon with some more content. Thank you guys for watching. I'm loving where this MOC is going, and I'll see you guys really soon.